Okay, raise your hands nice and high so I can make sure I get you. Yes, gentleman there, please, just in front of you.
Peter from the Netherlands again. No questions about condoms this time, but for Mr. Brown, do you think the Illuminati still exist, actually?
Did they ever?
I don't know.
Let's just keep it on the topic of the movie. These are fictional stories built around real-world topics. And these stories, it is my hope, spark a lot of interest and research on people's own to figure out what in these stories is fictional, what is real, and I think the movie also does a terrific job of leaving you with a lot of those questions in the parking lot after the movie.
Thank you. In the middle here.
Hello, I'm Danai Smuthkachoan from Channel 7 Thailand. This question is for Mr. Ewan McGregor. And being a young man, was it very difficult to play an important character in the Vatican, which is filled with a lot of old people? And do you miss that there are no BMW motorcycles in this movie? Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was important to get, I mean, what I thought about playing him was what I felt when I met people who represent any faith. When you meet a priest or anyone who represents a religion, there's a certain kind of self-confidence and self-belief that I thought was important to get when I played the Camerlengo. I mean, I thought it was quite interesting that they decided to make him a priest and not a cardinal, and because that makes it more interesting, the kind of status to play with. But I think for the scene with Tom and I, where I challenge him and ask him about whether he believes in God, I think it was important that the Camerlengo had a certain self-belief and self-confidence, you know.
I think we've got a question over here. Yes, sir? Right here.
Mr. Tom Hanks, at this point in your life and career, are there any achievements you'd like to still make, or have you done more or less what you wanted with your life? And any thoughts on that?
Call it a day. Time to jack it all in.
I haven't won the Indy 500. I still view myself as a guy who has stuff to do. I get bit by a bug and I have to go off and explore it. I hope I'm not done. Geez, that'd be depressing, wouldn't it? So long, everybody. Nice talking to you. I love being an actor. I love being a creative partner in any number of other films, and I can't imagine a life in which I don't wake up every day and somehow try to figure out how to help somebody tell a story. So I always begin all over at square zero.
Before I get to the next question, I'd like to ask Ayelet, what was it like working with these actors, especially Tom?
Really comfortable. It was fantastic. I mean, I had a great time. It was, from the first moment I stepped into the audition, which is nicely called the reading, which took place in a little stage. I thought it was one of the most smart. I never talked to you about that, didn't I? That you chose to do it in a little theater rather than in a room where you can actually see the people that will determine your future, right? So he chose a little theater. And did you?
Yeah,
both together?
It was near Tom's office, and it's
you could have been in Tom's office, you know.
Shut up, let the lady talk.
Yeah. It's a good tale. And I remember that it was on a stage, so it was very comfortable and didn't feel at all like a reading. You had cameras, and it was, you know, the important people set where I couldn't see them at all. And you came down, further down, up and down, and said what you had to say, and it was more like a workshop rather than anything else. And I felt so comfortable, and you joked about the fact that I was kicked from that theater a few days before with my son, and you asked me, if you remember, if it was a cultural thing.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was funny from the beginning. It's not a cultural thing. My son was 4. He was talking during the play. So from the beginning, they treated me equally and very nicely. And the day I had to say goodbye, it was really, really hard. Because I had a really good time. And I can go on forever talking about them, really. But they're here. It's kind of uncomfortable.
We'll take a question from the front row right here. We have a microphone in the front row.
how was the experience this time to work together again?
Well, it's interesting to work with old friends because you start right where you left off. We don't have to get to know each other, you know. A lot of times working with the director is like a blind date. And you're going around the world on a cruise with him, so you'd better like him. But Ron and I speak a kind of interesting shorthand that is also very inclusive of everything that goes on. But Ron always says, "So what do you make of this?" And we're always just talking about films. We're always just talking about the approach to it. So I trust Ron to tell me anything he thinks, and I think that Ron trusts me to bring my game on the day. I can't imagine. I know there's some people that don't like to work with directors over and over again, but I've worked with a number of other directors more than once, and I enjoy the process because you get onto the work at hand much, much faster.